There's a strange atmosphere around Ibrox at the moment, and many supporters have started to notice that something just does not feel quite right behind the scenes. When the club brought in new attacking options earlier in the season, there was a real sense of excitement. Fans were expecting energy, creativity, and goals, the kind of impact that could change matches and lift the entire squad. Early signs suggested that the decision might prove to be a clever bit of business, especially after a debut performance that showed confidence and attacking intent. At that point, it looked like Rangers had found a player who could add something different to the forward line, someone capable of creating chances and contributing regularly in the final third. But football can change very quickly, and over the past months the situation has shifted dramatically. Opportunities have become limited, performances have lost consistency, and the early excitement has slowly turned into uncertainty. Supporters have started asking questions about why things have not worked out the way many expected. It is not just about one or two quiet matches. It is about a longer period where the player has struggled to make a real impact on games. When confidence drops, everything becomes more difficult for an attacking player, from decision-making to movement off the ball, and that seems to be part of what is happening right now. The bigger concern for the club is not only what happens on the pitch, but also what happens off it, especially when long-term contracts are involved. Modern football is as much about financial planning as it is about tactics and results. And when a club commits to a player for many years, they are making a statement about the future. If that player performs well, it looks like a smart investment. If things do not work out, it can quickly become a complicated situation. Wages, contract length, and transfer value all become part of the discussion, and suddenly what once looked like a strong signing starts to look like a difficult problem to solve. That is why the coming months will be very important. There is still time to turn things around, still time for performances to improve and for confidence to return. Football careers often change direction very quickly with one good performance, one important goal, or one strong run of matches. But at the same time, the reality of squad planning means the club will also be thinking about the future and what the team will look like next season. Managers always want players who fit their system, their style of play, and their tactical approach. And when a player does not naturally fit into that system, it becomes much harder for them to secure a regular place in the starting 11. At the same time, changes are already happening in other areas of the squad. Some players are moving closer to the exit door, and in certain cases it feels like the right moment for both the player and the club to move on. Football careers sometimes need a fresh start, a new league, a new environment, and a new challenge to get things moving again. When a player is no longer getting regular minutes, it becomes very difficult for them to maintain rhythm and confidence, and a transfer can often be the best solution for everyone involved. For the club, it frees space in the squad and allows planning for new arrivals, while for the player it offers the chance to play regularly and rebuild form. Behind the scenes, the club is also looking carefully at potential new signings and future defensive options. Scouts have been watching several players, especially younger defenders who could develop and become important parts of the squad in the coming years. Recruitment is no longer just about the next match or the next season. It is about building a squad that can compete consistently, with the right balance between experience and youth. Supporters may not always see these decisions immediately, but this kind of planning is what shapes the team over the long term. Meanwhile, the coaching staff are focusing on improving the current squad during this crucial stage of the season. With important matches still to be played, every training session becomes important, every tactical adjustment matters, and every player in the squad has a role to play. The final stretch of the season often defines how a manager's first period in charge is judged, and strong performances now can change the entire mood around the club. Momentum in football is powerful, and a good run of results can quickly rebuild confidence among players and supporters alike. There is also a strong focus on team organization, fitness, and tactical discipline, especially after a season that has had difficult moments and unexpected setbacks. When a coaching staff arrives without a full preseason, they often spend months trying to implement their ideas while also dealing with competitive matches every week. That is not an easy situation, so any opportunity to spend more time on the training ground becomes extremely valuable. It allows the manager to work more closely with the players, improve understanding of the system, and prepare the squad properly for what lies ahead. All of this means that the club is currently in a period of transition, with changes happening slowly but steadily. Some players will move on, others will arrive, and the overall structure of the squad will continue to evolve. Supporters always want immediate results, and that is understandable, but rebuilding a team often takes time, planning, and many difficult decisions along the way. What matters now is how the team performs in these remaining matches and which players step forward when the pressure is highest, because those moments often determine who will be part of the club's future and who will not. As the season moves towards its decisive weeks, every match now carries extra weight, and the pressure around the squad continues to grow. Supporters are watching closely, not just the results, but the performances, the attitude on the pitch, and the signs of what this team might become in the near future. There is a clear feeling that this is a turning point period, not only for certain players, but for the direction of the squad as a whole. The manager and his staff are evaluating everything, from tactical flexibility to individual commitment, and these final matches will likely influence many of the decisions that will be made during the summer. One of the biggest challenges for any team in this situation is maintaining focus when uncertainty surrounds several players. When footballers know their future is unclear, performances can sometimes drop, but for others it becomes motivation to prove they deserve to stay. This is where strong dressing room leadership becomes important, because experienced players must set the standard in training and in matches. Teams that finish seasons strongly are usually the ones with a strong mentality and a clear sense of purpose, even when changes are expected in the summer. Another important factor is tactical identity. Over the past months, there have been adjustments in formation and style of play, and it is clear that the coaching staff are still shaping the team according to their ideas. Building a tactical identity does not happen overnight, especially when a manager arrives in the middle of a season. Players need time to understand positioning, movement, pressing triggers, and how the team should react in different moments of the game. Training sessions become crucial for this, and any extended period working together on the training ground can make a significant difference in how the team performs during matches. At the same time, recruitment planning continues quietly in the background. Clubs at this level are always planning several months ahead, identifying targets, watching matches, analyzing performance data, and evaluating personalities as well as ability. Signing the right player is not only about talent, it is about mentality, adaptability, and whether the player fits into the system and the dressing room environment. Many clubs have made mistakes in the past by signing players based only on reputation or statistics, and modern recruitment tries to avoid those errors by looking at the complete profile of a player. Defensive stability is one of the areas that has clearly been under review, and it would not be surprising to see new defensive options arriving in the next transfer window. A strong defense is often the foundation of successful teams, and building that foundation usually requires careful planning rather than quick decisions. Young defenders with potential are often attractive signings because they can develop over time and become valuable assets both on the pitch and financially. At the same time, experienced defenders bring leadership and organization, so finding the right balance will be important. Supporters are also beginning to understand that this rebuild will probably happen in stages rather than all at once. Some players will leave, others will arrive, and the style of play may continue to evolve over the next season rather than changing immediately. Patience is not always easy in football, especially at a club where expectations are always high. But long-term success is usually built through consistent planning rather than constant short-term changes. The clubs that remain competitive year after year are the ones that have a clear strategy and stick to it even during difficult periods. Looking at the remaining fixtures, each match now becomes an opportunity for players to prove themselves. Some will be playing for their future at the club, others for pride, and others simply for the chance to secure a regular place in the team next season. These situations often produce intense matches because motivation levels are high and every performance is being closely analyzed. For younger players, it is also a chance to show that they are ready for more responsibility and more playing time in the future. The atmosphere around the stadium during these final matches will also play a big role. Supporters can influence games more than many people realize, especially in important moments when the team needs energy and confidence. When the crowd is fully behind the team, players often find that extra bit of motivation to run more, press harder, and stay focused even when matches become difficult. Football is not only tactical and physical, it is emotional, and that connection between supporters and players can sometimes change the outcome of a match. All of this means that the coming period is not just about finishing the season. It is about shaping what comes next. Decisions are being made, performances are being evaluated, and the structure of next season's squad is slowly taking form behind the scenes. Some stories are coming to an end, others are just beginning, and by the time the season finishes, the direction of the club will likely be much clearer than it is now. The important thing for the team is to finish strongly, build momentum, and give supporters reasons to feel optimistic about what lies ahead. Because in football, momentum and belief can carry from one season into the next and completely change the trajectory of a team. There is also a growing sense that the mentality of the squad will be just as important as any tactical change or new signing in the months ahead. Teams that compete for trophies are not only organized and talented, they are mentally strong, especially in difficult moments during matches. Rangers have had periods this season where performances were good but consistency was missing, and that is often the difference between a team that competes occasionally and a team that competes all the time. Finding that consistency will be one of the main objectives moving forward, and it comes from confidence, structure, and players fully understanding their roles within the system. Another aspect that cannot be ignored is the importance of competition within the squad. When players know their place in the starting 11 is not guaranteed, the level in training usually increases, and that competition often improves overall team performance. A strong squad is not just about the starting 11. It is about having players on the bench who can change a match, players who can step in without the level dropping, and players who push the starters every single week. Building that kind of squad depth is not easy, but it is essential for any club that wants to compete across an entire season without losing momentum. As attention slowly begins to turn towards the next season, supporters will be hoping to see clear signs of progress, clear signs of a team that knows how it wants to play and which players will be part of that journey. The final matches of this campaign are not just about points on the table. They are about identity, direction, and building a foundation for what comes next. Every performance, every selection decision, and every tactical adjustment from now until the end of the season will be part of shaping the next chapter for the club. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In a development that sent a tremor through the Scottish game, whispers are growing louder that Rangers may be on the brink of a remarkable restoration of past glory. Insiders close to Ibrox suggest the club has quietly secured a legal victory over the SPFL, a decision that could see a previously disputed title returned to the Govan side. While no official confirmation has been issued, sources with knowledge of the proceedings hint that the ruling centers on procedural inconsistencies and questions over governance at the time the title was originally withheld. It's understood that Rangers' legal team mounted a sustained challenge, arguing that due process was not properly followed and that the integrity of the competition had been compromised. Around the corridors of Scottish football, the mood is one of cautious intrigue. Some figures within the game are said to be bracing for significant fallout should the decision be ratified publicly. Others, however, remain skeptical, noting that such a reversal would be unprecedented in the modern era and could open the door to further disputes. At Ibrox, there is a sense, quiet but unmistakable, that something significant is unfolding. Club officials have remained tight-lipped, neither confirming nor denying the speculation, but the absence of dismissal has only added fuel to the fire. Supporters, meanwhile, have taken to discussing the possibility with a mix of excitement and disbelief, daring to imagine the historical record being rewritten. Critics argue that even the suggestion of such a decision risks destabilizing the credibility of the league, while proponents insist that justice, however delayed, must ultimately prevail. As it stands, the matter remains shrouded in uncertainty, but one thing is clear. If the rumors hold truth, Scottish football could be on the cusp of one of its most contentious and talked about moments in years. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.